Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Justice Mullins. Good to see you again.
You too.
And I do thank you for taking the time to meet with me last week and to maybe pull back the robe and see what you're made of. And it was a great meeting. But I do have a couple questions and a comment. To my knowledge, you are one of the few Chief Justices who will have served at all three levels of the court. And how would that experience assist you or inform you in the position?
I think in a couple ways. At least one, it gives me an appreciation and respect for trial judges and appellate court judges, what they're going through. I remember what it's like to be a trial judge and an appellate court judge. So in terms of any initiatives I have or anything I'm thinking of doing with the branch, I'm always thinking about what it was like to be a trial court judge and an appellate court judge. And also just knowing the system from those different angles, knowing the Superior Court, the rhythm of the Superior Court, the appellate court, and the Supreme Court. I think that all will help me in running the branch.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer. And if you could refer to question 3 on the questionnaire. And I congratulate you on the smallest font I've ever seen on one of these questionnaires. But
I did try to provide bigger font.
No, it's kind of different than my essays in college. I went with the biggest font so I could write less. But you say judges take a holistic view of the Constitution. Yes. What do you mean by that?
So the question, if I remember, is the question is, should judges interpret the Constitution to enforce the original intent of the drafters? So responding to that question, because it was in the question, I thought the intent of the drafters was sort of what the question was asking, should judges do when they interpret the Constitution? And they certainly should include the intent of the drafters. But I don't think that's all they should include. It's an important point. It's an important part of interpreting the Constitution. But to interpret a constitutional provision, you should be really trying to figure out what the provision means and what it's getting at. And the drafter's intent is certainly an important part, but there's other important parts.
Okay. I appreciate that answer as well. And just one more question, if I may, Mr. Chair. You're going to be the captain of the team, the judicial team. There are many employees in the judicial branch, and I was one of them for almost 3 decades. And how would you, as the leader of the team, try and make everyone statewide and all the different GAs and JDs feel valuable and part of the team?
Well, one of the things I plan to do right off, if confirmed, is visit all the JDs, talk to people, be accessible. I don't intend to sit in Hartford and never go out to see the different judicial districts and talk to people. I've found in my life talking to people gets you a lot farther. So very basic, very fundamental, but I plan to go meet with people. That's
a good answer. And one reflection, going back to how we met in person last week, when speaking to you and hearing your answers today, sometimes I'm in hearings and I walk away saying, what the heck just happened? You give concise answers. I know what you've said. You have a way of expressing your thoughts very clearly, which I think is important in the position of Chief Justice. But when we spoke, we talked about the personal responsibility that you took at a young age. And your dad I met your mom and dad before the hearing, and they made you take. It seems like these days when we're dealing with the courts, a lot of personal responsibility is not taken into account. And I'm glad to see that you took personal responsibility and your mom and dad made you take personal responsibility. And I'm sure that will carry over into your position. And on a personal note, when I was walking up the Supreme Court steps to talk to you, it was a bit emotional for me as you're sitting in the hot seat where my father sat over 2 decades ago when being questioned to be the new Chief Justice. And so I don't take how you feel sitting there and how my dad felt when he got home and talked to us. And I think he'd be proud to see who's sitting in that seat today. And I think you'll do a great job. And I appreciate your answers on the questionnaire. Appreciate your answers in person and here when I met with you in person, one-on-one, and when we talked here today. So thank you. Congratulations and good luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Marr.